Well, trading has closed on December 5th, 2023. As always, we'll do our disclaimer, go over our calls, and make some predictions. It's my plan for Wednesday, December 6th, 2023. Just remember, plans can be wrong, plans can change, trade at your own risk. This was a pattern with the early high. Tomorrow should have the early low. MEJT didn't have too much to say today. All these moves were called false. Said there'd be retracements into the range. That happened. The afternoon we got a buy signal, but we printed the minimum target immediately. It told us these drops weren't going to hold, but we didn't have to go any higher. And even though we had resistance just at the target, nothing much happened. Well, whenever I get a day with closes a little change, I just repeat my call from the previous day, and that's what I'm going to do. Yesterday we said we were in kind of a tenuous situation if you were a bull. We had a lot of negativity. This is what we said. And we said if we gap down under the low, it could lead to a big drop. But we haven't gapped down under the low, and maybe we won't. But once again, we can't close over any of these highs. And once again, we have 5 waves down. And no matter how you can count this consolidation, 5 waves down followed by a consolidation is not what you want to see if you're a bull. Now, if we take this high out, that idea is killed. But until we take that out, I think it's not what the bulls want. We still have this broadening top. We still have the inverted diamond on stilts. But unlike yesterday, if we wait until tomorrow to break under this low, which again isn't required by the pattern, it's just an if. But if we break under this low, that'll probably fail in grand style. And if we break under this, that's the broadening top. And if we break under that, we're going to break through this trend line low that we're talking about. So especially if we break this trend line by gapping under the low, and again, that hasn't happened. It's just a vulnerability. If we break under that, even though we have higher targets, there could be quite a correction first. Nothing makes that impossible. So let's just repeat things. Tomorrow's pattern has the early low. It doesn't tell us where we open. We closed essentially unchanged. When that happens, I just repeat my call. We've got 5 waves down followed by a consolidation. And if that's the right wave count, that's a bearish count. We've been unable to clear intraday highs on the close. So if we gap under recent lows and don't reverse promptly, it would violate a major trend line and undercut the low of the inverted diamond on stilts. And if that happens, we could have a sizable drop. Now, bulls need to kill this idea by overtaking recent highs. And the longer they go without overtaking the high, the greater the risk in remaining long. It's a vulnerability. It might not play out, but I'm just not liking the way this thing looks. Usually, if you're in an uptrend, you don't get 5 waves down, and you don't make new highs and can't hold them. Until we take out some lows too, the idea could be killed. But right now, let's say it's vulnerable to a big drop, and I'm going to be wrong if we take this high out. It's the pattern with the early low tomorrow, and that's today's call.